Good evening from London, wrestling fans. I'm your host, Ben Allison, and you are listening to Wrestling Republic's daily broadcast, your one-stop shop for pro wrestling insight, news, and reviews on a daily basis. Tonight, not Seth Rollins, that was yesterday. Tonight, Kenny Omega will be taking on Jon Moxley inside of the steel cage in what promises to be an AEW main event for the ages, as Anna Jay will also be taking on Julia Hart in a no-holds-barred match, and Claudio Castagnoli will be taking on Rey Fenix in a double Jeopardy match. We're going to be getting into all of that and the AEW ticket stuff that's all over Twitter and more. So joining me to discuss all of this on the podcast today, we have the duo who I like to call the gloves and the gloveless. Firstly, the gloves part of the duo, the man who wears gloves to the gym, Chaos.
That's Chaos. That's an inside joke.
Wow, I was like, where is he going with this? I was like, okay. Hey, also just to defend myself, I don't care. You can't judge me for caring about my doing some hand care while wearing the gloves to the gym. So whatever. Anyway, thanks for having me on this show. Happy Wednesday. You know what that means. We got a lot to talk about. Let's get into it. Team Gloves.
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, WrestleMania weekend, Chaos went to the gym and wore gloves, posted it on his Instagram story. And Clark, you just couldn't believe it, could you?
Man was offended.
I had to dog him for it. I mean, it's too funny. You know, I have a long running joke. You know, you can only wear gloves to the gym if you're punching something. But in all seriousness, Chaos went to the gym during Mania weekend, and I did not. I drank too much.
No one did
before, so I got to give Chaos credit for going. And not only that, I'd rather be on the glove side because Gary Payton, the gloves, one of my favorite NBA players of all time. But I do love the joke because I did have to dog Chaos for wearing the. I mean, you couldn't grab the dumbbells yourself. I don't know. Like you needed was it a friction issue? I don't know. There's too many jokes there to leave that low hanging fruit hanging. You know, I mean, it's too easy. Too fun, but either way, I'm like Team RC. We got Robert Clark and Robert Chaos, right? Like we got two RCs in the building too. Either way, but yeah, no, that's a classic.
Oh gosh, but let's straight away get into the AEW ticket stuff, because in case you guys haven't seen, the AEW Double or Nothing tickets, which is taking place from the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, it's not been selling as well as recent years, and this has made Twitter uproar. And I mean, I'm going to be honest, when I first looked at it, it doesn't look great. They're just over halfway filled, I believe now, especially considering they basically sold out instantly the other times they run it. It's not great, and it leads to the question, do they need to, run different Double or Nothing events each year? But not run different Double or Nothing events.
So, Ben, just by the way, it is actually T-Mobile Arena, still an MGM property, but it's T-Mobile Arena. Sorry, just one.
But yeah, so it leads to the question: do they need to run it in different places, not just Las Vegas? Do they need to move it around a little bit? On the whole, of course, you know what Twitter's like. People are saying, "Oh, AEW can't sell tickets now. Whatever. They can only sell tickets in London." Blah blah blah. I've looked at the Dynamite tickets. They're not selling out every week, but they're like, usually if they're running a 7,000 venue, they're between, late 5,000s to 6,000. It's decent. They're selling decent numbers still. There's not really an issue there. The question kind of does lead to, though, they, of course, are adding a second weekly show, which you talk about a lot. We reckon it's called AEW Collision based on their trademarks. And we know they're doing a live TV show because they've already announced it. They just haven't announced the name yet. So if it is called AEW Collision, those are 2 tapings per week in arenas. Is there demand for that? We don't know. But I don't think people should look into this Double or Nothing thing too much, to be completely honest. The one thing which, a lot of people are suggesting on Twitter is, well, how about AEW just do more international shows? It's working for WWE. And I mean, listen, you look at AEW Wembley, AEW London, whatever you want to call it, the tickets have sold amazingly. It shocked me. It shocked me how well they've sold. But WWE said it the other day about Puerto Rico. They at least claim now, and maybe this might be a business move, but they claimed that they needed the 1.5 million from Puerto Rico to be able to make it profitable. So they needed that amount to make it worth it for them to actually go, because the amount of money it would cost to transport all this stuff over there. So for a promotion like AEW, a new promotion, perhaps going international regularly, that might not be an option as much as it probably would sell internationally. It might be a little bit more difficult than that. But Clark, what do you think about this double or nothing ticket situation? Do you think that AEW fans and AEW need to start to worry?
I don't think so. No, not at all. I mean, you're talking about Las Vegas on Memorial Day weekend. It's a national, right? Almost everybody in America has Friday and Monday of Memorial Weekend off. It's one of the most popular weekends in Vegas. The hotels are booked out months, if not a year in advance. And at the end of the day, it's a tough travel scenario on that weekend. But with how hot Vegas is, you're going to get the gate from the in-town crowd. It may be more casual fans than we're used to at an AEW show, but that gate will come through. That building will fill. Absolutely. There's too many people in town and not enough things to do. That's the most interesting part about Memorial Weekend in Vegas. And that's something to do. And I wonder if it's something that in the long run pays off. If you keep booking that same weekend and you book an arena of that size on that particular weekend, that in and of itself is unique. Whether it sells out of the gates or not, it will eventually. The UFC had issues in that regard with Rampage and Rashad, one of the most sellable fights of all time, which is across the street at MGM Grand Garden, not at T-Mobile, which is less seats at the end of the day. And eventually that fight sold out and is one of, most fondly remembered UFC fights of all time, or cards, especially a non-title card, one of the first that they put on pay-per-view non-title, right? And at the end of the day, I think, it's, if it was any city but Vegas, then I'd be nervous, right? If this was a different town, whether America or internationally, as far as the going international thing, I think that's a problem across the board, because transporting equipment, and
it's absolutely
and all of that,
across the
it
board.
is, right? I mean, you even look at what Bellator tried to accomplish in Hawaii recently across, that's not wrestling, but it's combat sports. And what they tried to accomplish in Hawaii was amazing, starting earlier with the hours, later with the hours and everything. It was awesome, but staging wise, it was nearly impossible going across the pond. It's just hard to do.
No, it absolutely is.
And that's I think that's a larger issue than it is the ticket sales itself. And I think the ticket sales for Double or Nothing is a reflection more of Vegas than anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Chaos?
I'm just gonna keep it short and sweet. I think also that Memorial Weekend effect can definitely be one of the reasons. And I obviously, basically what I'm saying is I don't think it's gonna have an issue selling more tickets. The only reason ticket sales are slowed down is just because I think I said it last time I was on the show. It's simply because the card ain't as interesting right now. There's only one match announced, and the pay-per-view is 2 weeks away. I'm pretty sure we're gonna get some matches announced tonight. Like we're gonna get Wardlow against Christian Cage, by the looks of things, and probably a ladder match thrown in. But yeah, it's really unfair to try and compare this one to the previous Double or Nothings. Like I said, last year was the one that it was the first. CM Punk was on it. Obviously, that was going to sell. That was going to do gangbusters. The year before that was the first pay-per-view since the pandemic. So obviously that was going to do gangbusters at dailies. I'm pretty sure the one if the pandemic didn't happen on 2020, there was the Stadium Stampede match. They were in Cody versus Lance Archer for the TNT Championship. I think those are very viable matches that could have done very gangbusters numbers as well. And obviously the inaugural Double or Nothing did obviously great with Cody. Chris Jericho versus Kenny Omega. So I think I think it's just boiled down simply just to the fact that the card is not as interesting. Sure, we get in the 4 pillars match, but also other storylines that are probably going to wound up on the card are just not that interesting. That's the only thing. It's not because of cost of living. It's not because there's lack of interest. It's just that the card is not strong enough.
Yeah.
So they got to really knock out the park. If not, then they are going to have a lackluster term of numbers. But I don't think it's anything else. Just that. It's just that the older storylines right now. There's nothing like boiling hot. Like, I need to go and see how this culminates in the pay-per-view. That's the way it boils down to, in my opinion. So they have to really fix that up.
Yeah, no, I agree with both of you there. Like Clark, as you said as well, Vegas, they'll be able to sell to casual fans, which might be positive for them long term. Late now, maybe it won't be as hot as a crowd as we've known for recent Double or Nothings.
Yeah,
but still should be. You know, I don't think it's anything to worry about too much yet. But we'll wait and see. And I mean, the collision stuff, that's going to be interesting too, to see how that also with 2 events per week. But we're going to have to wait and see about that. For now, don't be worried, guys. But let's move on to something which I'm really not worried about, and that is tonight's episode of AEW Dynamite, where Jon Moxley will be taking on Kenny Omega in a steel cage match. And I don't know if any of you guys have seen this, but they released a YouTube video, a Road to Dynamite video, or as I like to call it, should have been on Dynamite video, where they really built up this. They built this up well anyway, right, over the last few weeks. This has been a story they built well, but the video package they did, it was a 5-minute video package, and it was really, really good. I'm really excited for this match, and these are the 2 men, right, who throughout AEW, I mean, Kenny Omega, I guess, was kind of meant to be the face of the locker room in AEW. And Jon Moxley's kind of become it. So you can tell that, you know, they feuded. This was like the first big feud in AEW as well. The traces between them, their paths have crossed multiple times. Of course, the Omega heel turn, all of that. It's a long feud, long and storied rivalry, and tonight they'll be going at it in a steel cage match, and I really hope this gets time, as I think it's going to be brutal. And yeah, I mean, I think Omega's really got some momentum at the minute as well, so I'm kind of hoping he does get the victory. Perhaps we'll see the Bucks return, who knows? But Clark, what's your thoughts on it, and who do you see winning tonight?
I'm excited about it. A lot of people criticized the lights out match they had, where the finish was the paradigm shift on the exposed, you know, pallets under the ring mat, and I loved that match. In the state of Maryland, find him. I loved it. It was creative. It was awesome. They brought out mouse traps before Jackass and Sami Zayn did. They brought out mouse traps in that one. They brought out barbed wire. They brought out everything. They put it all on the line. I loved that match. I cannot wait to see what they do next in this one. Inside of a cage, I'm interested to see if they'll use the cage that they used with Baker and Thunder Rosa. I don't know if you remember that one, where it was almost like a Hell in a Cell on the near side, on the hard camera side, right? You could get under the ring, you could go to the outside. The other side was like a traditional steel cage.
Wasn't that also, sorry to cut you off, didn't Cody have that? We did the moonsault?
I believe so. Cody had that exact cage. Yes. You're right. I think they've used it twice. So it's definitely in the repertoire. I think that's one that would be absolutely awesome to see used in this one, to give them more room to work outside of the ring than just, you know, because I don't want to see this be a match that's won by escape, at least personally. It's such a storied rivalry at this point. Actually, I think it's kind of some of the best work AEW's done outside of the blemish of the exploding barbed wire death match. But at the end of the day, that one, other than the botched fireworks, it was an entertaining match, right?
The match was good itself. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I think tonight Kenny's got to go over. Chaos, I'm going to toss it to you next. whenever you're ready. Who do you think's gonna win, and how do you feel about this one as a whole, the rivalry as a whole?
Yeah, I think that obviously the rivalry, like you say, is quite storied. I'm definitely looking forward to it. I wonder who's gonna bleed first. um, but yeah, no, it's the build up to this one has been okay. I'm still not feeling what's going on with BB with the BCC, what Danielson is doing and all that kind of stuff with the screwdrivers and all that stuff. But I'm glad that we're getting this fight. I totally agree with what you said about the Full Gear match. Probably one of my favorite all-time AEW matches. I'm gonna have to go and rewatch that just for sheer fun, because yeah, it was it felt like they legitimately hated each other. It was so brutal and so just like they just had a point to prove. So yeah, I don't think this is gonna go by escape. I think this either is someone's gonna win, or it's like gonna go to probably like a no contest or something. But yeah, I think it'll be definitely just brutal. I hope they get the right time, at least 20 to 25 minutes. I haven't got nothing much to say on it. And then let's carry on the streak with good matches between them two. Just don't do the exploding barbed wire finish again.
Oh yeah. Oh god, I actually forgot about that.
My bad.
They very conveniently didn't show that in the video package. But the one thing I will ask is, I can't remember. Do they even do escapes in the cages in AEW?
I actually do believe that in one of them it was a possibility, because I remember that I think it's cage match to cage match. So for example, like Bucks, and off the top of my head, Bucks and Lucha Bros was not. No. I don't think the Cody one was either.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking. I can't.
But I do think maybe Thunder Rosa Britt might have been, because wasn't Britt trying to escape through the door? Yes. If I remember correctly. Yeah, yes, Britt was trying to get out of the door.
I forgot about that match completely.
Which was a good one. That one's underrated. I actually really, really enjoyed that match. Too.
Sorry, I just had to go and check. And even though it's quite old, but JR actually put a tweet out about it a few years ago, and it said, the match can only be won by pinfall or submission, removing the escape the cages stipulation.
Gotcha.
So but that was like I said, that was a couple years ago.
I
don't know what match that was.
Yeah. But no. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I don't like the escape the cage thing. I really don't. So I'm glad. I really hope today it'll be settled in the cage between the two. And like you said, Chaos, I hope it gets some time. There's quite a few things on this card. There's 5 matches and 3 segments announced. So I'm to be honest, I think it might be more around the 15-minute to 20-minute once they're in the ring mark. But I do hope they get 20 minutes at least, because these two could have a classic in the cage. And it's been a while since we've seen a major Kenny Omega singles match. So I think it'll be certainly fun to see this tonight. Let's move on now to the next singles match on the card tonight. And that is Claudio Castagnoli, the Ring of Honor champion, facing Rey Fenix, one half of the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, in what is being known as a double jeopardy match. And basically what this match is whoever wins gets a shot at the other person's championship. So you may be asking yourself, considering there's 2 Ring of Honor championships involved in this match, and it's for, it's Ring of Honor title implications, why it's on AEW TV? And I'm having a similar, thought to you, basically. Why isn't this on Ring of Honor? Now, what I predicted is I predict Ring of Honor is doing very badly viewership wise, and they're going to do this leading to the match, either Phoenix versus Claudio or Claudio and somebody versus the Lucha Bros for the titles on Ring of Honor. So I think this match is leading to something on Ring of Honor TV to try and get more viewership there. That's the only logical explanation here. Otherwise, this is just rubbish. It should be on Ring of Honor TV, because it'd be certainly something I check out on Ring of Honor. but it doesn't make much sense there. I mean, from an in-ring standpoint, I'm looking forward to this one. It'll be fun. From a story standpoint and logic standpoint, unless what I said is what they're doing, and that's not a good sign. I don't really get it. But what do you think, Chaos?
Yeah, you pretty much nailed it on the head. I think like the numbers, because let's be honest, the deal that they got for Ring of Honor is not great. It is not great. So the viewership, it must be dwindling, if not just really bad, because that's sort of the reason for him to make people be interested in the Ring of Honor. This match could go either way. I mean, you could see like the BCC trying to claim all Ring of Honor titles, or they could easily give it to see Rey Fenix versus Claudio, which I would love to see for the heavyweight championship. So I don't really have I don't really have a betting horse in this one. It could go either way. I'm still interested to see either matches, whichever it's be a tag match or a single match. But yeah, I think you pretty much nailed it around the head. The good thing about it is because everyone was complaining that ROH was taking over Dynamite. There was a lot of it was very ROH heavy at one point. So now they kind of stretched it out. But yeah, I think you nailed it on the head pretty much. That it's not doing well, so they're trying to build some interest. That's the only way to do it.
What about you, Clark?
Yeah, I agree with both of you guys on that one. Even given Claudio Phoenix is a Dynamite worthy match with no title tied to it, right? Like with nothing. You know what I mean? No stipulation. At the end of the day, if ROH isn't doing well, how can you not promote it on your brand that is doing better? Right? It's all subjective no matter what. Like that's the right thing to do. It's the right move. I think Rey Fenix is maybe the most overlooked performer in wrestling. I think he's top 5 in the world, bell to bell, on the men's side.
So good.
And without a doubt, he never ceases to amaze me. Never. And Penta gets a lot of credit, and deservedly so as well, because Penta is amazing. But Rey Fenix does things that you just can't even make up. And his selling that's the craziest part. Is his offensive moveset is off the charts, but he sells like a WWE wrestler almost compared to guys that don't do the same. Rey Fenix's selling is so overlooked. He's awesome at it. And Penta will get himself caught every now and again outside the ring looking to come in and do that stuff. Phoenix does not. And he's the younger brother, but he gets overlooked all the time. I would love to see a big Phoenix singles push. We talk about the Street Profits all the time, who I love both, right? I love Dawkins. I love Ford. Phoenix is the Montez Ford in the Lucha Bros to me. And I think both those two need to go to the moon. Quickly.
I don't know if I know you maybe in terms of the ring. Obviously with Ford, not only is he good in the ring, but he's got the charisma.
True, that's a little different. I'll give you that too for sure. Yeah. The Ford charisma is huge.
Yeah, I think Penta has the charisma, but Phoenix is in terms of in-ring prowess. 100%, yeah, that's Ford. That's what you mean.
No, right. they're both incredible, and the Lucha Bros, they've impressed me for years, but they've really broken out. And I'm gonna be honest, like you touched upon, Clark, when AEW first started and the Lucha Bros came to AEW, I kind of expected Penta to be the one to break out as a single star, and at the start of the pandemic with that feud with Cody Rhodes, he kind of did, but it kind of just dwindled slightly from there. And Rey Fenix, he had an amazing 2021. Rey Fenix, honestly, I remember I did top 10 wrestler of the week, and I scored it points wise, and he was like 5th on the rankings at the end of the year for points. He honestly had actually an underrated year, if anything. Like one thing I do want to actually mention to you guys though is because I know you're both not a fan when WWE do this. But isn't this basically just a champions contender match or whatever WWE calls it?
Yeah. The twist is that they're both. It's pretty much both of them that they confide. So this one I'll give it a pass because this one there's more implications.
Yeah, I agree.
Whereas when it comes to them, 9 times out of 10 the champion wins regardless, or if the contender wins. they don't really follow up on it in the way. So this one is a bit more. At least if they land it correctly, then I'm fine with it. And they don't obviously rinse it out. So yeah, that's a
yeah. I mean, it certainly seems to be a way to get eyes on the ring of it.
Chaos hit the nail on the head with the there's multiple things on the line here. That's the difference, right? It's like if the champion gets their butt kicked and then they're like, "Give me my belt back so I can go home." That's not a great
this
look.
could happen tonight, though.
I know,
Phoenix wins. Wow. But no, I mean, listen, there's a lot of things, but I'm presuming here that Claudio is going to win. He's a champion, the singles champion. But the thing is, who do you reckon, which one of the Blackpool Combat Club do you reckon is going to team with Claudio to take on the Lucha Bros? Do you reckon Wheeler Yuta maybe? I'll go to you first, Clark.
Oh.
I mean, I agree. Yeah, Yuta is the only logical. I mean, I don't even know what other choice, because it's not Danielson. That Danielson and Claudio that's too. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's too stacked. It's too. Yeah, that'd be a wait. If it happens, it's a great single match, but the long-term effects aren't great. Yeah. And so I think it has to be Wheeler at that point. It would have been nice to have Daniel Garcia right now. That'd be a really good one to have team with. I think if they'd have actually pulled the trigger on that, because I think he fits the Blackpool Combat Club really well, and Garcia and Claudio would be a fun team. Given like the bell to bell acumen, grappling wise, kind of fits, and stylistically against the Lucha Bros, that would make more sense. You have Yuta, who's going to work more Lucha Bros-esque style, halfway between strong style and a Lucha style, almost, right? A high flying style that he employs. Garcia might be the perfect fit here, but we've still got him stuck in the JAS.
Yeah, and we've got a couple of comments coming in here now. We've got one from Laurie Taylor saying, "Great crew, great to have you in the comments here as well." And we've also got Kion Sensei, who's saying that they're going tonight and they can't wait to see Moxley versus Omega, and saying it's a big win for Detroit. Well, enjoy. It'll be a bang of a show and a bang of a match.
Apologies for Ben to actually brutally butcher your name. Is Sensei, not Sensei. But yeah,
Sensei. Sorry.
Sensei, yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. Everybody knows I'm not the greatest with names, but
running you up.
Let's now move on to the next match.
Shout out Detroit, by the way. I love that.
Shout out Detroit. Where Eminem's from, but
greatest rapper of all time. Fight me.
Yep, agreed. Agreed. So let's move on to the next one now, which is Anna Jay versus Julia Hart. It's a bit of a weird one. I'm a big fan of both these ladies. They're great. But I watched the promo hype up package for it. And Anna Jay's the face going into this. I mean, you're in the Jericho Appreciation Society. How are you the face? But listen, the character work both of these ladies have been doing, and Julia Hart especially, has been phenomenal lately. I'm looking forward to this. It's a no-holds-barred match as well. And the kind of story behind it is that the House of Black are saying that the Jericho Appreciation Society are a cult because they worship one man, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, Jericho Appreciation Society, well, specifically Anna Jay, are saying that the House of Black are a cult. It's all, it's that type of stuff. But it's two people who used to be friends who are no longer friends, who are now having a no-holds-barred match. And the person who's been playing a heel on TV for months now is suddenly a face. And there's no real explanation there. I mean, I could have gotten away with Julia being the face, but oh well. Clark, what do you think going into this one? Are you looking forward to it?
I don't care about any of it. I want to give Julia Hart her flowers.
Fair enough.
Where she's come from when I was first at AEW Rampage in 2021 before All Out, as she walked out with the Varsity Blondes. She wore the cheer outfit. She's a former cheerleader herself. She's an underrated athlete. I've seen her wrestle live twice. A psychotically underrated athlete. She's awesome athletically. Can do anything you ask in the ring. The character work, and not only that, the bet on yourself move to go, House of Black the way she has and to lean into it with the mist and everything, I hope that this match is her moment. I hope she's showcased. I hope she goes over on Anna Jay. And I understand the complaints on Anna Jay was a heel. Now she's a babyface. I totally get that. It's not even about that right now. This is the time to put Julia Hart over. And if Anna Jay is the one that's willing to do it, it's the right time.
No, I'll agree with you on that.
And I think for sure that this match can be awesome, bell to bell, and deliver no holds barred. You do not see that women's matches on television often like that. This is something that I think we should, before we pass judgment, be ready for. Surprise. I think it's going to be good. I think we're going to be stunned by it. No. And I'm not accusing at all on that side. I'm just, I really believe Julia Hart's going to put on a heck of a performance. I think Anna Jay on the other side is going to do the same. And I think Julia goes over in a no holds barred match that for a long time we've needed. And we always talk about new contenders in the women's division. How about Julia Hart? How about the girl that spits the black mist, the venomous, mean one, the scary one? And she's leaned into it. She's played the character for so long. Now's the time to show it. Be vicious. Go out in a no holds barred match. Don't hold anything back. Show us what you can do. And now we have a new contender all of a sudden. And that's what I'm at least rooting for.
Yeah.
To say the very least.
That would be great. But I mean, here's the thing: we got Keone again in the comments saying that Julia will be the face in the match and that Julia will get the cheers. And I do agree with you. I think the crowd are going to root against. Well, I think it might be a bit mixed, but I think they should have built that in that way. And Julia doesn't need to be, all babyface, whatever. She can keep the exact same persona now. But Anna Jay in the promo package they did hyping this up was playing the sympathy card, was doing all the real, it was blatant in the video package. She was the babyface, blatant. So I don't know why Anna Jay didn't lean into the heel stuff a bit more, and you could keep Julia Hart with the exact same everything, and she would have come across as the face. I'm a bit confused why they've done that, and because of that, I think it will split the crowd slightly. Whereas otherwise, I think it would have been Julia Hart completely. But I think it's going to be a great match, like you touched upon, Clark. And I really do hope Julia goes over because, like you also said, she deserves it. But what's your thoughts, Chaos?
Yeah, I think this match will definitely live up to expectations. Usually when there's women matches that are like either lights out, no holds barred, especially in AEW, I've been rarely, if ever, disappointed. The last triple threat match was Anna Jay. I think Anna Jay was in it, Willow Nightingale and Ruby Soho, if I'm not mistaken. That one was great. Obviously, not Bad Bunny. The Bunny.
Bugs Bunny. No.
Yeah. The other triple threat match, I think, and Tay Mello and someone else. Oh yeah, though anything when it comes to weapons and stuff, these matches are usually great with these women. I wouldn't really read too much in this babyface and heel stuff. I think even though you say the video package is portraying Anna Jay as a heel, I mean as a face, I think they're both still going to come up for the heel entrance, and the crowd is mostly going to pop for Julia Hart because the House of Black is hella over right now. She deserves it. Julia Hart deserves the win. I'm rooting for her. The build up to this, I really couldn't care much. But I think it's simply because Anna Jay, I like her as a wrestler, not someone to watch like promos and segments with. This character really makes me dislike her. She's really irritating and not in a good way. But yeah, I think the chemistry or the match quality should be good. This is the first time in a long time I've seen Julia Hart wrestle, so this is something I'll be very intrigued in because our most matches are always on Dark and whatnot. So and I don't watch Dark. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Really hoping to win. Say again?
I'm joking. I said nobody does, but people do. But yes, I mean it's going to be a good one for certain. It's just I call me old-fashioned or whatever, but I just like that to be an established heel, an established face, so the crowd's more into it. And it's just but again, AEW is slightly different where wrestling alone can get the crowd hyped and all that. So I mean, it's a slightly different dynamic. But now let's talk about the one thing on this show, which not necessarily this show, but in AEW right now that I'm not happy with. And that is that FTR, who are one of my favorite tag teams, I truly believe they're the best tag team in the world right now, will be responding to a challenge made by Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett for the tag team championships in a double or nothing match. I'm sorry, right? But AEW is meant to be the home of tag team wrestling. AEW is meant to be where tag team wrestling matters. It's meant to highlight the best tag team wrestlers from all over the world. And AEW has a stacked tag team division. No denying. The talent lives up to that promise. But why is Jeff Jarrett competing for the AEW Tag Team Championships 2 pay-per-views in a row? What? I love Jay Lethal, and don't get me wrong, I've liked Jeff Jarrett's work in AEW so far, right? But come on, for the tag team titles, 2 pay-per-views in a row. Dude, there's so many people who FTR could work with, and you're giving them Jeff Jarrett. Like, and that's not even an insult to Jeff Jarrett or whatever, but come on. AEW's meant to be the fast-paced, not even necessarily fast-paced, but, those fun tag team matches. And then FTR style kind of combated that a little bit and was like, well, it doesn't need to be fast. How about we add some more story to it? And that's personally what I love. And I thought their dynamic worked perfectly. The tag team division in AEW is stacked. They could have found multiple people, and instead they're throwing together this team again for another tag team shot at the tag team titles. I don't like it. I truly don't. What do you think, Chaos?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's to the point where the tag team division is in a bit of disarray. It hasn't really been the same since the Guns really had it.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure when FTR decided to stay with AEW, when they were in a bit of limbo regarding their contracts, I'm pretty sure they probably would have been promised that it would have like a better outcome than this. But yeah, the whole build up to this has not been great. There's this whole I agree, Jeff Jarrett. I forgot that even had they did have a title match in the last pay-per-view. That was against the Acclaimed, right?
Yeah.
At the time, yeah. So I don't obviously this is something to do with involving Mark Briscoe, and it's just building off that. I don't even like that whole storyline together as a whole. I don't know what they're doing. It's really hokey. But
sorry. I just realized I made a mistake saying it. It was against the Guns and Cassidy and Danhausen. But yeah,
right. Okay. Fair enough. My mistake. So yeah. The whole tag team division hasn't been the same for quite some time anyway. I just want this one to be over and done with. The FDR definitely deserves more. They could definitely do something else. Like you said, the tag team division may be stacked, but there's no one bubbling right now. It's at the same time, so it's just like they're just treading familiar waters. They're just spinning the wheel until someone hot is coming up right now. But they got themselves to blame because they're not really building up this stacked tag team division at the same time. So it is frustrating. I'm sure it'll be a decent match. Jeff Jarrett has yet to have a really bad match in AEW, so that's surprisingly.
Yeah.
So
no, it's true.
So it'll be a decent match. It's just like I agree. FTR definitely deserves more. I would love if they had like a multi-man tag team match. I mean, multi-man ladder match. That would be awesome.
Yeah, no, that would have been fun for sure. And I mean, here's the thing. Like I do agree that they need to build up other tag teams. So they have the tag teams to build up. So I'll say the exact same thing that I said about Raw's main event scene yesterday when I was talking about the lack of stars that are currently there. And I'll say, book it better. That's the solution. Clark, what's your thoughts on this?
Oh, I'm so sick of Jeff Jarrett. Can we stop? Why is he in the tag team title picture in AEW? What are we doing here, guys? Come on.
You do know he's been challenging. Sorry, he's been challenging for almost every title. He's going to go for the world title.
I know it. No. I know his whole history, and he's great. Oh my! I've seen enough guitar smashes in my young life. I am just sick of it. I'm just done with it. Why are we still doing it? And then it's like, oh wait, here's this buddy Jay Lethal. They wrestled the Hall of Famer in the T-shirt over in Nashville. It was awesome. Remember earlier in the year? They're super over now. Like, because that was huge. I mean, come on. It's sickening to me that this is potentially a tag team main event in the best tag division I've ever seen in my lifetime. We're proud and powerful. Santana and Ortiz get on the same page. As a huge fan, I don't know what's going on, but please come back and save us. Santana and Ortiz, please come save us. Please, I'm begging you. Come back and save us. But that's what I've got on this is just, oh.
I mean, listen, it's
If
not
I
even
wasn't,
just
if this
them.
was
There's
taken
so
to the
many good tag teams. They just can't. Not they can't. They were booking it well at the start. Like I don't understand it. It was just.
If this was taken to the table, I'll be playing the Batista "What is your malfunction" meme right now.
Oh.
That's what that's how I feel, basically. Yeah, so I agree.
Santana and Ortiz, please come save us. I'm begging you guys. Please.
It's bad.
You hear this?
It is.
Please.
But the thing is, CM Punk came along, and a few other guys. And in fact, no, actually, I
Are you going to blame the tag division on Punk right now?
No. I'm not blaming it on CM Punk here. AEW Rampage came along, and Tony Khan suddenly forgot how to book the tag division. I feel like I've said this before. No man, and this is not an insult to Tony Khan at all. No man can do what he's doing and the amount of stuff he's trying to do. Get somebody else to book a couple of shows for you. You know, it's worrying me with Collision coming up too, but clearly there's not been enough time put into building up tag teams. It's so obvious now. Get somebody else in to book one of the shows and Rampage. And then, you just book Dynamite like normal. There's, Dark's been cancelled now, which is a big sign the Saturday show is coming. Dark and Dark Elevation officially cancelled, so there's less to worry about there. And just Tony, relax, man. You're doing it all. You're doing it all.
Delegation.
Just take a step back. Great leaders delegate tasks, right? So just take a step back. People. Relax.
Delegation to reliable people. Great call, Chaos, by the way. Not to unreliable people. Delegate to good ones.
Relax,
to good
all
people.
right? Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, I don't know how he does it. If we ever get Tony on the show, we'd love to have him. If we ever get him on the show, my first question is actually going to be, how do you do it all? Because I want to know. And I don't understand why nobody's asked him. I want to know his morning routine. Out of anybody, I want to know his morning routine.
Lots and lots of coffee.
Tons of coffee. Multiple cups.
Tons of coffee.
Probably like a pot of coffee.
A few bottles of Coca-Cola as well. But yeah, anyway.
Zero calories.
Yes, exactly. High caffeine though still.
Pants had to stand up.
Sorry, I had to stretch my legs there. Sorry.
Yeah.
But I'm only joking. But anyway, yes, at the end of the day, delegate stuff because you have a stacked tag team division. And we've had so many classics in the AEW tag team division too, because look, it's not like it's something. And actually, Keone's got a great point in the chat here over on YouTube saying,
great stream. Thank you.
I actually showed the wrong one, but thank you very much. That the great tags are becoming great trios now. And that is a good point as well. Since the trio titles have been introduced, that's kind of taken away some people from the tag team division. So that is a phenomenal point, which I didn't even think of.
We also forget about the Jurassic Express breakup, right? That was a big cog in the middle of the tag division. And then also best friends with the injury to Trent. They've taken a big fall. Well, they're back now, but they're not nearly on the same level that they were before the injury, right?
Stu came back and that didn't do nothing like this.
Exactly, right?
Here's the thing. Like I just said a minute ago, and like I said yesterday, I'm going to put it on a T-shirt now, in fact. Book it better. Like, these are just excuses. Just book it better.
Tag's better.
But here's the thing, right, guys. It is a stacked Dynamite tonight. I'm excited for it, especially that steel cage match. That is some mouth-watering stuff. But yeah, that brings us to the end of the show. If you're watching on YouTube, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe. It helps us out massively. If you're over on Spotify, thank you. We really appreciate the listen. Please give us 5 stars and a follow on there. That does help us out massively too, and share it with your friends as well. We're trying to grow a bit on Spotify. But we're back here. a couple of hours later tomorrow, 3 hours later than we started today, because it'll be Throwback Thursday with Clark and Anthony. I'm sure that's going to be a banger of an episode. So, see you guys tomorrow. Thank you and good night.